In today's vlog, I want to talk about when is it okay to give up and stop being a music teacher or a music school owner. Pretty tough topic, but I'm going to tackle it in just a sec. I'm going to be honest, guys, this is probably the hardest vlog to record and to not script. I just have my sort of bullet points, and I've recorded this many times in the last half hour, and I'm just going to freestyle and talk to you straight because it's just such a tough topic. It's such an honest topic, and I just want to lay it out to you. So I'm not going to pause for mistakes and cut and splice everything up for you. I'm just going to talk to you as if we're having a conversation face to face. So you might think that because I run Build a Music School and have built a successful school that I would tell you there's never an appropriate time to give up. You might think that there's every challenge, every life situation you should just run through, and you should just like the brick walls I talk about, you just got to run through it, and then you should keep going forever and there's no excuse to quit. That's just not true, and it's not a mature answer, and it's not how life works. And so I've had a few BAM squad members that joined too late, and they couldn't turn around things fast enough for their situation, and I've had to agree with them. Hey, it is the right thing for you and your family to finish and move on to the next thing, and that's okay. And so before we get into like five reasons I think it's okay to finish up, I want to define like giving up versus the 5 things I'm talking about today. So giving up is like, it was pretty hard and I want something easier, and so I'm going to change. That's giving up, okay? But the things we're talking about today, this isn't really giving up. These are the appropriate reasons to stop. And they shouldn't be framed as giving up. They should be framed as a change in life circumstance, something that's been thrust upon you, a situation, things that are new opportunities, open doors, exciting steps up in your career. They're framed in a positive light rather than giving up. So I'm going to give you 5 things, 5 reasons where I think, from things I've seen and experienced and talking to people with music school owners, where I think it's okay to finish up. So let's just go into it. Number 1 is when your music school, and when I say music school, I mean whether you've got a teaching business at home with 30 students or you've got 1,000 students in a flash building. So I'm just going to say school. When that music school is totally negatively affecting you and your family, and it is costing you all your time, all your money, and is a stress overload. And if you don't see that changing within an acceptable amount of time, I think that's the number 1 reason when it's okay. And these aren't in order of importance. I think that is just the first reason where I think it is okay. So that's talking about like you've pushed through challenge after challenge, and you can't see things changing in an acceptable period of time, and so you may give it a time limit. So you may say, hey, if things don't change in the next 12 months, I'm gonna sell off what I've got, and I'm gonna change careers, or I'm gonna make a big pivot, or I'm gonna shut this part of my business down, or I'm gonna make a big change. And I think that is totally okay. So if you don't see things changing in an acceptable amount of time, and you need to give it some time, so you don't say, if I'm not making $2,000 a week within the next 6 weeks, I'm out of here. No, you need to like give it proper amount of time. But if you've got a family especially, you need to think about stress levels and the actual time frame, talk about it clearly, weigh up your options, and if it is showing that it's going to be very, very hard to pull that off, like not just hard work, but very, very hard to near impossible, then I think it's okay to look for opportunities, other opportunities to weigh it up. So that would be the first reason. The second one would be when you get a new or a better opportunity that you're more excited about. I think that's okay to finish up. So it might be that you get recruited by another music school that's bigger to come and work for them and be paid more and, be working on one awesome big school. It might be that you get recruited by the university to teach there, and that's really exciting. It could be that you get some other sideways move into, maybe a management position at some other job. Maybe it's that you're amazing with young people and you get recruited into some sort of other youth development type job where you're working with young people and using your skills in a way that still uses your gifts and allows you to inspire and help people as much as possible. I think that's okay as well. So that would be number 2. Number 3 I've got is when you are just no longer passionate about it, and when that passion has run dry for a long time, I think that that's okay as well, to move on to something else. So this could mean that you find your job, which used to be so exciting and you absolutely loved it, you now find it totally life-sucking rather than life-giving, I guess. And so if you find yourself in that position, and this again is something where you don't give it 6 weeks and then bail, but we're over a long period of time where you've done all the things in your personal life and your business life to try and put that life back into it. So by that I would mean things like in your personal life, you want to look at your work-life balance and everything from how much sleep you're getting and exercise and food and hanging out with good friends and having good mentors in your life and having other hobbies and playing music yourself for the enjoyment of music without any sort of professional standards and academics being thrust upon you, just for the fun of music. So once you've got your personal life, basically I think of it like a cup, filling a cup with water. So if you're filling up your cup with energy and passion, then if you've got a full cup, you're able to pour it out to other people. And so if you're not filling in your cup, you run dry, and that's how it is with passion and energy. So I think that if you in a season which has gone for way too long and you've done everything you can personally, and then of course, as I mentioned, business-wise, you've done everything that you can to try and reignite the passion. You've tightened up all the systems, you've applied all the things that you can do to simplify and streamline your job to make it more exciting, more fun, cost you less time and stress. So if you've done all those things, business and personal, and you've given it a long period of time and the passion's still just not there and you just don't enjoy it, well, you wouldn't want to be taught by someone that's just, their heart's just not in it and they're just doing it because they can't do anything else, or they're, in some cases, too lazy to go find another job because this is what they've always done. I think it's okay to finish up then and move on. And in some of these circumstances, remember, you can actually sell your business. I think I've bought 2 music schools over the years of my growth. One was a piano business of about 30, 40 students, of like a door-to-door business from the very early years. And I think I only paid $3,000 or $4,000. But hey, that's $3,000 or $4,000 to that person that was moving away. So you could sell your business to someone. Someone else I paid about $20-something thousand for. It might have been like 100 students, 80 to 100 students, and a bunch of gear. And so whatever you've got something that's sellable, that's working. So someone might want to come in fresh and take over, or they might already exist running a school and be able to absorb it into their current program. So don't think that you're walking away from nothing to nothing. So it's all about finishing strong and having a win. If you're finding the passion is just gone and you want to give it to someone that's really just roaring with passion. One extra thing I just want to add there, that's not scripted or even bullet pointed, is that often that passion one, you can actually bring someone else onto your team. And that whole change of having a younger person that's another tutor to come and pick up, a lot of the students, or a waiting list, or half the students, that's a new exciting sort of business challenge. And that can often bring the life and energy back into what you're doing because it's something new and fresh. Now you've got someone to share it with, and they're they're excited, which gets you excited as well. So consider that. Let's move on. Number four, fourth reason where I think it's totally fine to move on is when you have a buyer for your business. So what we've talked about before, and you're confident that they're going to do a great job, and you've got a clear next step. So if you've built your school up and you've been able to sell it, that's an amazing thing to be able to do. You're confident that person's going to do a great job, take it to the next level. You've got another option in mind, or you want to take that money and invest it into a new little business opportunity, or who knows, maybe it's just you want to put a deposit on a second home and be a landlord. Whatever, if you've got something you've sold, you're excited about it, that's cool. That's an okay reason to move on. Let's move on. Fifth one, final one, is just when you have a big life change and circumstance. Things happen. Sometimes it's really like sad stuff. And in the last year, I've had 3 staff members, Raywin, Melissa, Nick. Is there a fourth? There's a fourth. Oh, I can't remember. So I think there's 4 staff members, and I feel awful for not remembering the fourth one. Their fathers died all of a sudden without much more warning than, or one had cancer and had a decent warning. The others were like, "Cool, Dad, see you tomorrow," and passed away. That sort of situation. That's a massive change in circumstance, and when something like that is thrown at you, and you have a new crazy new season to deal with, maybe your business might not suit that season. Maybe it does, and that's awesome. You can keep going, take a little break, and move on. But if you have something like that, or it could be not as somber. It could be that your partner, your husband, your wife gets a really amazing job in a new city, and it means you have to sell up and go find a new job. That's a change in circumstance. So any of those big life changes, of course it's okay to finish. You don't have to push through that and try and run it at a distance, or run through when you're just grieving and you're not going to be able to cope teaching without bawling your eyes out mid-lesson. Any of those sorts of things, totally fine to move on and to chase the next thing. If one of these things happens to you and you've given it everything that you can, and you've done the stuff that I mentioned, it's okay to move on. So don't feel like you have to just push on forever and you're a failure if you don't. So there we go. That's probably not the most exciting vlog you'll have from me, but I think it'll be one that will hopefully speak to someone. So let me know in the comments if that helped you, and please, as I said earlier, don't use this as a tool to give up. Don't look for an opportunity to find your excuse in there when things are just a bit hard and you actually need to push through. Okay, because running a business is hard, and there are going to be hundreds of challenges, and you can push through. You can do it. And if I'm able to help you, or the BAM squad can help you in any way, do reach out, because those that have been before you have the answers to probably 99% of the tough stuff you're going through.